going to share my experience. To start with, that one of my greatest fear when internship time came was like, Lord, am I ready for this? Which one is the place you have for me? It was just so many questions and fears that suddenly kick in. And one of my greatest fears was to dishonor God, to not be really at the standard God wanted me to be, to dishonor the institution that I love, Harlan College, and to do things that would just put it down. And I was like, Lord, I pray that you will just glorify your name and just take over me because I don't feel ready. And actually, my life is a mess. And only through God's grace is that we are who we are and that we accomplish things, that we can smile. And everything is because of God. And so UT Pines, as you can see, was the place where I went for my whole internship experience. And God was leading everything in a miraculous way to lead me there. I knew He was taking me there to UT Pines. And this is the place, some of you may know it, some of you may not know UT Pines exactly. But this was the main entrance, was a big place. I had fears of not really being there to the level the doctors wanted me to be. And I was like, Lord, I know I learned a lot at Harlem, but this is going to be a little more intense now, and that's what internship is for, is to grow more. And just to see how big, they had like 20 guests per session, and they had different type of treatments like an infrared box and the hyperbaric chamber and all of these treatments I had not dealt with, and I was like, oh, I need some experience in new things. Even one time they asked me to be in charge of the exercise program with the guest, and I exercised, but that was not my strength. But many things had to be done, and the Lord, just when He calls you for something, He will prepare you, and He will stretch you, and He will just make the best out of it. So there at UT Pines, they have an education program. They have students. It's mainly focused on health. And so there are students doing the lifestyle educators, mainly focused on outreach to churches, and then the lifestyle counselors working in the lifestyle center. And I was going to work as a lifestyle counselor. And that meant that you are doing almost everything with your guest. You just communicate with the doctor, you go to the counselings, you write the treatment plans, the going home plan, you write the diet plan, you are behind the guest all the time doing the treatments, you're just there like all the time with them. But that really helps you to learn more how to go from beginning to end. And that was just what I needed for internship. Then Lord knew that I needed to be in this place. They have garden as well, the farm there. And on Sabbaths, it was amazing because I got to see so many different Sabbath schools. They have a church on campus, and one of the Sabbath schools was a family Sabbath school. And basically, families can come with their kids, and they learn true education. Not only Bible stories, but they have moral applications, and they have nature. Everything linked together in a way I had never seen, how you can talk about a plant and then link it to the Bible story and everything it was amazing. And I love teaching, and God even brought me to learn more about how to work with kids. So God had many different plans. And they also have a restaurant and store in town. Actually, it's in Columbus, Georgia, and it's near to Alabama, where the lifestyle center is, UT Pines. Campus is beautiful. There were places where you could go sit down and actually think and just spend time with God. You need that connection with the Lord. And that was another big lesson that God wanted to teach me, to sometimes come a while and just really connect with Him. Because when you're with a guest the whole day, they're struggling. They come with you, even telling you the problems that they have with that other person. And sometimes being a resident, you have all of these 20 guests, and they come, oh, that person looked to me bad. And you feel like a parent there with so many guests and nonstop. You're resident from when it starts to when it ends. So I was like, oh, that's new as well. And God was just bringing new experiences into my life. And so there was 10 minutes walk from the girls' dorm to the lifestyle center. And every day when I would go to breakfast, it was just going through this dark because it was dark in the morning early for breakfast, and just looking at the stars, it just brought God so much nearer. Being in contact with nature and taking time to go to nature, to enjoy God's creation, makes your experience like more real. And there was a trail that I loved the most. It was called Step to Christ, and it had all the verses starting from like connecting with God until what God has done for us. So here was a whole circle of I am the bread of life, I am the way, I am like so many things, and I would go there so many times and pray, and it was just connecting again with the Lord, because sometimes you kind of let go little by little and you don't even realize, but you need to come closer to God. And so when every session would start, we were like a lot of counselors because we had a lot of guests. And my first session, I worked in the kitchen, decorating all the raw foods. My second session, they said, okay, Debbie, you come from Harlan, you learn a lot, you were there 3 years, and not many schools in this type of education are so long. Usually it's shorter. Harlan, I think, is one of the longest, so we get more things. They were like, we need to put you to do things, not only in the kitchen. So they said, you're going to have 2 guests, and you're going to be in charge of cooking classes. I was like, okay. And I just prayed and said, Lord, you help me. I'm not sure who is coming, what's going to be, but one of my guests was this lady from the Bahamas, Ronette, and I had another lady that they said she was 89, and I thought, oh, she probably comes with a lot of issues and old, but she actually was pretty good. Like, she was up and going, but the young lady that I didn't expect, she had a lot of issues. It was a hard case. She would vomit day and night nonstop, and we were trying to do things. She would start vomiting blood. One night at 3 a.m., they called me to the dorm. Debbie, she's still vomiting. We're not sure what to do. Please, we called the doctor, but come. So when you're like that with your guests, you're like on call the whole time. It's just, so I went there and just seeing people suffer so much. Like, they accept a lot of people in late stages of cancer and just really hard cases. They have more doctors, and it's more like an advanced things they have, and more machinery and more sophisticated. So I got to see things that I had not really seen before. And I just prayed because I had 2 guests, one that required me to be there like almost constantly, plus I had another guest, and I had the cooking classes. I was like, Lord, how can I do this? But God was amazing. When He asks you to do something and you know He's asking you to, He just puts everything together. And when I had to do the cooking classes, she was feeling a little better, so I was able to go. And just God worked out everything, and I was just praising God to see how He cares about us. And then, even being at UT Pines, a busy place, one time, as I was saying before, this is a sign that I saw, and I was like, this is actually what sometimes we need to do in life. Stop. And the exit gate, it's actually, there's always a way of escape. When we see that, oh Lord, I'm so tired, I just don't know what to do, sometimes God calls you to come and rest a while. Not rest to just have fun or just sleep for days and days, but come and have that connection with Him. So we went with a group of lifestyle counselors after a session to a beautiful place in nature, just to camp, just to be in a weekend, like, come apart, rest a while, get connected with God in nature. And let me tell you, nature is powerful. Sometimes we don't use it as much. We're stuck in our rooms studying, doing this, good projects for the Lord, but we need nature as well. Jesus went so many times to nature. And with the group, we had the Sabbath near a lake, and even something that I had never done, had baptism there. And it was so amazing to come close as a family. What? Communion, what did I say? Baptism. Well, yeah. Communion, thank you. Just communion service there, no baptism. And it was such a big blessing to do different things closer to God's presence. Just, you look at the ocean, it just well, that was not the ocean, that was just a lake. But you look at the lake and it just amazes you so much to see the mighty power of God, how the sun is rising in the morning, and just how beautiful things we can still see in a world that is so polluted by sin. And this was the team there in the front, kind of in the middle, from Dr. Agatha Thrash, that is in the red sweater, to Dr. Mark, that is on the purple shirt. They were the three doctors that we have there, they have in the lifestyle center there. And then all the ones that are on the back are all the lifestyle counselors. And it was so wonderful to work as a team, to help one another. And something that I appreciated so much is how everyone gave everything for the work and to help those around them. Sometimes I would come with the piles of towels and the buckets from a treatment, and someone would come and say, okay, I'll take it. I'm like, are you like really taking it? Like cleaning? Yeah, that's Yuchi Pines. I'm like, okay, well, thank you. And just to see that caring spirit in people that are willing to sacrifice. Another young lady, one of my best friends, she had a very hard case with cancer, and actually she died there, and that's something else that I experienced, death. We had 2 deaths while I was there, and that was really hard. I had never experienced it so near, like people and how they need to be prepared and how they need a different kind of support and the family, and how much you see the important aspect of the work in a lifestyle center is not just giving treatments and running around with your task, but it's actually dedicating time to share Jesus with them, to help them realize that their highest aim shouldn't be to get better physically, but get connected with God spiritually, because the rest is in God's hands. And that's something that was stressed over and over again. And I praise God for the wonderful people He put in my way being there, because I had fears. I didn't know exactly what to expect, but everything worked together for good to help me grow, to realize how much more I needed to be connected with the Lord. One day the doctor, she told me, do you want to come? We have a patient that we're going to be cleaning cancer, and it was a big cancer the size of like a grapefruit, that it was already open to the outside and they had to clean. And cancer, it smells very bad, it looks very sad, and just to see the pain on people is extremely sad. And I was there not really knowing. I was just praying, Lord, and they said, well, you sing some songs while we're doing the procedure. I was like, Lord, help me to remember by memory all of the songs. And I realized how much more everything you learn, the memorization of Bible verses, the scripture songs you sing, to memorize them is a huge blessing in time of need. And maybe you won't have a Bible, you won't have anything. You just need to bring it from your mind. And I was like, Lord, forgive me, because I need to work more on this. And it was just an experience where I said, Lord, come soon. Help us to hasten your coming, because there's so much suffering and pain. But help us to do the work in a way that we will actually aim for the right thing and focus on spreading Christ. And health is just the opening wedge for people to come and open up, but then bring Christ into their lives, because He's the only one that can help us through this life. And at the end, we just took pictures. It was kind of sad to leave, and I would say I have wonderful memories, wonderful experiences that now I will take where I go next, where the Lord wants me next. And every challenge that we face, that the Lord call us higher. And like Pastor Cody Francis was saying, never stop learning, never stop thinking, and all of these things we need to keep on growing on. The Lord takes you step by step, and it gets harder and harder, because if it would be easier or the same, you wouldn't grow. So I would really encourage you, those that are working in the lifestyle center and those that are working in their different areas, put your best and just try to ask God to make you thinkers, to focus on what is right. Don't see it just as a requirement or as a, well, I'm here, I gotta do it. but put your whole heart into it. There's nothing like having your heart into what you're doing and loving what you do. People can tell as well. So I pray that you will keep pressing forward and that God will give you the wisdom you need as you're here, and the training, like Henry was saying, you gain here, you use it, and it becomes little when you're up there. It's like, oh Lord, I still need to learn so much more. So take advantage of everything you're gaining here. Time goes by fast. For you freshmen, you may think 3 years, 4 to graduate, that's too much. I thought that as well, but the time goes by really fast and everything is worth it. So may God bless you.